One of the biggest heists in history just happened. $330 million of Bitcoin was stolen. To put that into perspective, it's bigger than the Antwerp diamond heist, the Lufthansa heist that you probably saw in Goodfellas. It was also bigger than the Great Train Robbery in 1963. And if we're talking crypto, it's the 6th largest in history. This was first flagged by Zach XBT, who noticed the unusual wallet movements before anyone else. It was a long-term Bitcoin wallet that was emptied, and it had no obvious ties to exchanges or companies. 3,250 Bitcoin, worth about $330 million, was moved in one transaction. So now the thief has the money. What did they do with it? Well, the Bitcoin wasn't just left sitting there. It was broken down into smaller amounts, around 50 to 100 BTC at a time, pushed rapidly through 6 different instant swap exchanges. These instant swaps don't hold customer funds like large exchanges, and often don't require any deep KYC. They're designed to be very fast, but they do come at a cost. In this case, the thief was paying 1 to 3% in fees on every transaction, meaning millions was sacrificed just to move fast and to not do a KYC. Pretty obvious why they wouldn't do that though. Yeah, that doesn't take a rocket scientist. See, the thief's push for privacy didn't stop there. That Bitcoin got converted into what is crypto's probably most famous privacy coin, Monero. And Monero's built very differently to Bitcoin. First, every payment uses a stealth address, so you can't see who's getting the money. Second is something called ring signatures. Every spend is mixed in with fake ones, so no one can tell who actually sent it. That's starting to really muddy the water. Thanks to a thing called ring CT, the amounts are hidden too. You can't even see how much is being moved. And even the network traffic, that's also scrambled using something called Dandelion++. Yeah, that was clearly written to read on a computer, not out loud. But Dandelion++ ultimately makes it impossible to know where the transaction started. In simple terms, once Bitcoin becomes Monero, it's basically impossible to do blockchain analysis. And that'll stay that way unless the thief literally makes a human error, leaking metadata, reusing a wallet, or trying to cash out through a KYC exchange. This money genuinely could be gone for good. When the thief did these swaps, Monero surged 50% in price, from around $227 to $390 in just a few hours. And it wasn't because of new adoption, obviously, it was just new demand, $330 million worth of demand. And that's where things get even more interesting. Monero's liquidity has been getting thinner for months. A lot of major exchanges like OKX, Kraken, and Binance EU have been delisting privacy coins, partly because of growing regulatory pressure. With fewer places to trade and less real depth in the market, a flood of hundreds of millions of dollars, it can't be absorbed, right? Like, it just has nowhere to go.